Greetings everyone, it's Mel Casey here at Casey Healing Wellness. Just like to take a few minutes just to talk about knots in the muscle. A lot of people have pain and the first thing they do is they stretch. And I'm telling you, that's the wrong thing to do. Never stretch when you have pain. And the reason why is because you make it worse, okay? When you have pain, that means most likely you have a knot, okay, in the muscle. The knot could be either in the belly of the muscle or it could be on the attachment. All right, so knots can be caused through various things. It could be injury, it could be from working out, it could be dehydration, it could be a lot of factors that can cause knots, and usually knots take time for it to build up. Okay, so everybody has them. We've all experienced it. Sometimes you get knots from going to sleep, waking up because you slept the wrong way. So a lot of factors can come in. So here's what I want to show you is that when you have a knot, okay, instead of stretching it to make it worse, you have to release it. All right, so here's what happens when you have a knot. So let's just say this is your muscle, okay, and so right here is the knot. So I just want to show you what happens when you stretch it. So when you have a knot and you're in pain and you stretch, this is what happens, okay? It just gets tighter and tighter. Okay, so never stretch when you're in pain. That's the first thing that people do, is they try to stretch it out, and it's not going to work, because this is what happens. See, it's getting tighter and tighter. So question is, what do you do? All right, so there's various things you can do. Number one, I recommend getting a massage. All right, massage will actually release it, okay, according to the techniques. All right, another thing I recommend, if you can't book a massage appointment, if you're in severe pain, okay, to the point where you can't stand it, you can't even like leave your house or you can't walk, all right, I recommend getting one of these massage tools. All right, so this is good for trigger points. It's also good for like scraping the superficial surface of the fascia and the muscle. But here's a point right here, right? These 2 points, you can use this to release the knot. All right, so what happens is that if you have a knot, let's say you have a knot in your shoulder, okay, you're very pain, you can't move your shoulder, you can just take a tool like this and you can just put pressure on there and just hold it for like 30 seconds and it will release. Okay, so it's going to be painful, but you just have to, adjust it so it's tolerable, and then you just hold it there. Okay, 30 seconds is, I would say, that's the default time to actually hold it. It could be longer or it could be less, but you just check it periodically, just 30 seconds, and then check it, and then if you need more time, do more time. Okay, so that's a good example to do. And then after you do that, you release it, then you can stretch it. So what happens is that once you start putting pressure, okay, and you start massaging it, it's just going to get looser and looser, because what happens is with the muscle, you're creating the blood and oxygen flow to it. So what happens is that it just gets looser and looser. Another good thing is heat, okay? So remember this, heat will relax the muscle, okay? So if you have inflammation, all right, just to digress for a minute, if you have inflammation, never use heat, okay? A lot of people use heat and it gets worse. So if it's inflamed, you want to go the opposite. You want to use cold, you want ice when you have inflammation. So when you have that achiness, like, oh, my neck, I can't turn my head, then you need to check if it's like tolerable pain or if it's like unbearable pain. If it's unbearable pain, most likely you have inflammation and you need ice. Okay, now if it's tolerable, then most likely you just need heat. It's just it's just tight, just needs to be relaxed. Okay, so that's the difference. That's how you know when you need to use hot or cold. But you can take a tennis ball or a golf ball and do the same thing. If you don't have one of these, just get a ball, like a tennis ball or something hard, something durable, and just put pressure on it, where the pain is, whether it's coming from your back, your neck, the shoulder. So just get a ball and just use that instead if you don't have one of these. So it's very convenient. But the point is this: always release the knot before you stretch. Okay, never stretch if you're in pain. All right, and that's what I want to stress about, because what happens is that you only make it worse. Okay, so you always try to release it. And what happens is that the muscle gets contracted depending on what you do. All right. So if you're working out, you're creating lactic acid in the muscle fibers. So what happens is that you're tearing microscopic fibers. So that's why you're sore the next day or the day after. All right. So that's when you have that issue. Okay. Don't stretch it. All right. You just gotta put pressure on it. Okay. Put heat on it. You know, get the tool and just kind of like scrape it, and that's it. So Casey Healing Wellness is online. We're also on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Be sure to check us out. We offer a lot of services. Okay, we are #1 in the wellness industry, and you can see that for yourself if you check us out online and check out our testimonies. Come see us. We're in the New York City area. We're right across the river in Jersey. All right, so it's CaseyHealingWellness.com, and we'll see you next time.